I spent over a decade of my life learning lessons that could have been avoided. If you are in your 20s or you're in your 30s, I'm about to give you a shortcut I wish that I had when I was in my 20s and 30s. And trust me, this will save you from years of struggle. So let's dive in. Number one, you are not behind in life. You are just unwilling to sacrifice comfort for progress. And trust me, I have been there. I kept feeling like people were moving ahead of me at a faster pace. But when I took a second to really evaluate my life, I had to see that it was my unproductive habits that kept me stuck in the same place. So what did I do? I had to sacrifice those comforts for long-term progress. And once I did that, that's when I started to see things change for me. So how can you do it for you? Start small. Start with something that you know that you can change and build on it. Just make one small change and just continue to build. Tip number 2 is you're not overwhelmed. You have just overcommitted to things that really don't matter at the end of the day. Think about it. How many things do you say yes to every single day? Like, is it automatic? If someone asks you to do something right now, I want you to take a moment. If someone asks you to do something right now, will you or won't you say yes? It drains you. You don't have to say yes to everything. I was saying yes to a lot of things. And then once I started evaluating my life, I said, you know what? I'm just gonna start saying no more and more and more. I wasn't focused on things that truly mattered to me and truly mattered to my growth. I was just focused on pleasing other people. So one tool that you can use is a simple time audit. For 1 week, I want you to track how many times you say yes. I want you to track how you're spending your time. And you'll see exactly in that audit where you're overcommitting. You'll see exactly where you're overcommitting. And just eliminate the non-essential things and protect your time. Because time is limited. So you want to do everything you can to protect it and use it wisely. Tip number 3, your fear of rejection keeps you from opportunities that's meant for you. I used to be terrified of being rejected. I could not stand it. It was like one of the most terrifying things for me. I would avoid any opportunity that I felt like I wasn't going to be able to get, especially like in the workforce. If there was a position that I felt like I couldn't get, I would just avoid applying for it or even trying. In hindsight, I was worried about what people would think of me if I failed. But here's the thing. Every single time that you face rejection, it was actually a door opening for you. Something that's going to be bigger, something that was going to be better. That was a simple way for you to connect in a different way. The fear was holding you back, and the fear was holding me back at one point as well, because there were a lot of great opportunities that I didn't take because of the fear of rejection. So here's the thing. Rejection isn't personal. So if you can get that out of your mind, rejection isn't personal. It is just the process of every single day. This is a part of the process. Start reframing rejection as redirection. Maybe that thing wasn't meant for you, and that is okay. Maybe you're being protected from something. Maybe you wasn't ready for that opportunity. So if you face rejection today, ask yourself, what's the lesson here? Just ask yourself that one question. What's the lesson? And then ask yourself, what's the next step? Do those things. And I guarantee you, any rejection comes with a lesson. It always does. Tip number 4, if you don't learn to manage money, I promise you, money will always manage you. It does not matter. I did not grow up in a household that was really big on financial literacy. I didn't truly learn financial literacy until I was maybe in my 30s, because while I was in my 20s and I had a good job, I was just spending money. I was being so reckless. So I really didn't understand financial literacy until I got into my 30s. And then that's when I started to try to pay attention to my habits. And it wasn't until I went into debt, and I actually will post a video right here where I talked about me getting $21,000 into debt. that I realized that I really didn't have any control over my finances. But once I started taking charge of my finances and I started to learn about budgeting, I started to understand how money truly worked, that's when I began to feel empowered. So if you are struggling with managing any type of money, start small. Make a simple budget. Track your expenses from day to day. See how much you're door dashing. See how much you're eating out. And I promise you, you'll have a clear understanding on where it's coming from. And nowadays, there are many classes. There's YouTube that will give you all the instructions on which accounts you can invest in and what you can do to help better manage your money. Even if you just read a book, just spend time learning how to manage your money. Tip number 5. If you are not investing in you, then you are working for other people who are investing in themselves. Trust me, it does not matter. Whatever it is that you decide to do, make sure that you're investing in you. Whether it's education, make sure that whatever education that you're planning on getting is a complete investment in you and not because of someone else. Because the last thing that you want to do is to work for someone else for years and never have anything left to show for it. I want you to think of your mind, your body, and your skills as a bank account. If you are not making regular deposits into that bank account, you're just draining it. The most successful people invest heavily into themselves. Otherwise, they would not be successful. Whether it's through health, whether it's through knowledge, whether it's through skills, because that's how you're going to create long-term success. You have to invest in you just as hard. Start an investment account. That's the one thing that you can do. Start investing today. That could mean you might take a course, like I said. You might find a mentor, or you might start to take time to dedicate to your health. I know that for me, I started putting in more dedication to my health. Stop eating trash and doing all those other things that I was doing before. I just stopped. Don't let another day go by where you're just not investing in your future. Tip number 6, learn to see better than you can hear. What do I mean by that? Sometimes people will tell you whatever it is that you want to hear just to get to whatever they want to get to. So you need to be able to look at their actions and make sure that their actions lines up with the words that they're saying. And you need to also make sure that their words line up with their actions. So if someone tells you that they're going to do something and then they don't do it, you just need to start paying attention, because that's going to tell you a lot, not only about you, but about the people that you surround yourself with. Which brings me to point number 7. Your friends are a mirror of your standards. So look very closely. I have learned this over the years, that the people that you surround yourself around are a reflection of you and your standards. If your friends are constantly complaining, constantly procrastinating, and always got something negative to say, then that's a mirror of where you might be, or where you might be limiting yourself. And it's tough. That's probably one of the toughest things that I had to do in my whole entire life, which was evaluate my inner circle. But sometimes you have to do it. And sometimes you have to surround yourself with people that are on the path to growth. Sometimes you just have to. So I want you to take a moment and I want you to assess your circle. Are they lifting you up? Are they challenging you? Are they telling you that you can do this and encouraging you? If not, then it may be time for you to set new boundaries and for you to seek out people who share the same vision that you do. You are not confused. I know you're in your 20s and I know you're in your 30s and you're trying to figure out life, but trust me, you are not confused. You are just scared to make a decision. That's it. You're just scared to make a decision. We often say that we're confused when what we really truly mean is that we're scared to commit. We don't want to commit to anything. It's easier to stay confused about a situation than it is to make the wrong choice. And that's all that it is. But the truth of the matter is, even if you make the wrong decision, it's better than staying stuck. At least you made a decision. And that's how you know that you are beginning to grow. When you decide to stop using the word I'm confused and just make a freaking decision. Just make a decision. Pick one area of your life. This is how you're going to do this. Pick one area of your life where you've constantly been indecisive on and make a decision today. No matter how small it is. The key is to commit and to move forward. I was sitting on my couch and I was watching TV and I said, I'm gonna start running. Out of the blue. My family looked at me like, what? You're gonna do what? And I was like, I'm just gonna start running. And if you could have saw their faces, it was hilarious. But here's the thing. I just committed to it and I did it. I didn't say I was confused. I didn't make an excuse. I just committed to it and I just did it. So you're not confused. You are just scared to make a decision. Tip number 9. It's your spending habits, not your income, that's keeping you broke. So many times people feel like, oh, I just need to make more money. Oh, if I could just win the lottery. Okay, you answer this question for me. If you did win the lottery, would your problems all of a sudden go away? Maybe financial problems, yes. But if your spending habits are trash, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you will blow through it. When I was younger, again, I told you, about $21,000 in debt. And that's no joke. Video right here, $21,000 in debt. I always thought the solution to financial struggles for me to just make more money, for me to pick up more at work, for me to do all of these things. But the truth was, it wasn't about how much I made. It was about the fact that every single dime that I got, I figured out how to spend it. So your spending habits are what determines your financial future and nothing else. And maybe I should have had that higher on the list, but it is what it is. If you want to change your financial situation, you need to start by analyzing how you spend your money. Stop impulsive buys. Track every dollar. Shift your mindset, and I promise you, your whole entire future will change. You will start asking yourself, how does this purchase contribute to my future? Example, if you buy workout equipment, that can potentially contribute to you being more healthy, which then contributes to your future. But let's say you decide to buy, I don't know, a video game. How does that contribute to your future? And I'm just throwing that out there. But just start evaluating and figuring out your purchases and how does that help you in your future. Point number 10, learn to say no. And before you finish that sentence, I'm not talking about to others. I'm talking about saying no to you. Saying no to yourself. Saying no isn't just about boundaries. It's not just about you saying no to others. It's about saying no to your own distractions. It's about saying no to your own impulses. It's about saying no to the habits that keep you from growth. The power in saying no is often more about you choosing not to do something rather than choosing to do something. So I want you to start by saying no just one time to one distraction. If you decide that you're going to pick up your phone at night, I want you to say no. I want you to say, nope, I'm not going to do that. Instead, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick up a book and I'm going to start reading, and I'm going to read at least one page. Say no to those desires. And number 11, sometimes we don't listen to the message because we don't like the messenger. You have to get out of that. I get it. There were times where I didn't like who the message was coming from, so I didn't get any part of the message because I didn't like who the messenger was. But the sad part about it is, and the sad truth is that I totally missed the message. And that message could have been something that could have altered my life. That message could have been something that could have taken me from point A to point B quicker. Or it could have been something that could have resonated with me that could have changed me forever. But because I was so stuck on who the messenger was, I never got the message. So don't let that be you. Sometimes you have to just listen and not reply. And then hopefully you'll actually get whatever the message is supposed to be. Because sometimes we miss the messages that are directly for us. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about taking consistent action. Start today with just one thing that we've talked about and watch how it will shift your life completely. If something in this video resonated with you, please leave a comment and let's start a conversation. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, share this with anyone that you think may need to hear this message. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. My name is Naisha Nicole. Peace.